Personally, I like certain types of fast food as a treat or on an occasion. I used to eat it a lot, almost twice a week on average, but after watching many concerning television shows, reading newspaper articles and watching movies about how bad all this food is for me, I changed my ways slightly, but this doesn't necessarily account for everybody.
People were suing the Golden Arches for selling them food that most of us know isn't good for you to begin with. Yet each day, 1 in 4 Americans visits a fast food restaurant. And this hunger for fast food isn't just in America, it's happening on a global basis. McDonald's alone operates more than 30,000 joints in over 100 countries on 6 continents and feeds more than 46 million people worldwide every day. That's more than the entire population of Spain.
However, I do like to treat myself and go out and eat junk food. But instead of choosing the deep-fried processed foods of trans fats, excessive salts and sugars, I'm essentially choosing a healthier option by opting to delve into a considered higher class product and higher cultural practice that is now known as gourmet junk food. Much like this meal I'm eating with my friends in mustard and rye. These higher class chains of fast food restaurants have become very popular in the last decade, especially in America. I personally find this more of a treat, as I don't agree with the whole concept of fast food where you shovel it down your necks as soon as you can and don't even look up to speak to anybody whilst dining. I personally support the idea that food must be enjoyed, and not only the food but the experience, as I enjoy not only dining but the company, the place, the service and the highest standard of the food. As not only has this experience been improved for these chain restaurants, the quality of the food has also been closely considered. Now, all of these diners are drawing customers in by stating that their ingredients to make their gourmet junk food have been locally sourced and homemade, even though we don't know if this is true. In my work, this is the case, as we get our meat from the butchers opposite the road from us, where they make all their burgers in-house and don't add anything to them. Their meat also comes from their own cows, which are situated just behind my house and get slaughtered just down the road from me, meaning I know exactly where all of the food comes from and it is genuinely as fresh as it could possibly be. Therefore, I am taking the Mark Patterson look on things and viewing myself as being savvy, not a sucker, as I feel that by choosing gourmet fast food, I am moving away from the mass production of food, as I know what I am consuming and I know I am getting my money's worth. However, could I just be being a sucker and paying double the price for something just as bad as something from McDonald's? Who knows? In doing so, I have applied Pierre Bourdieu's theory, the desire for certain objects over others. In other words, our taste in consumer goods is a consequence of being socialised into the cultural codes of a particular social class. It is not just an accumulation of materials and a pattern of cultural practices, but a particular way of looking at the world, a set of predispositions. In relation to gourmet food, it could be said that society has just created a fast food for the higher and middle classes, therefore we are just conforming to mass production just as much as people who are eating McDonald's. But even though I do like a McDonald's milkshake every now and then, like what I'm ordering in the video being shown, I wouldn't choose to eat a drive-through meal, I just happen to like the milkshakes. Further, McDonald's is considered to be cheap to eat out, but in total for a meal that includes some form of sandwich, fries and fizzy drink/shake, it costs the equivalent to a lunch at a coffee shop, for example Costa or Starbucks, which is around £6. Somehow, McDonald's is still sucking in and serving nearly 50 million people worldwide a day. However, the rise in gourmet junk food is catching up on their success, and concerns about where all of this so-called cheap and processed food is coming from is becoming vast.
Tour of duty. Look at that. Glistening in the sun. Boy, that is miserable. I'm not sure what proportion of the chicken that's shaped like that. I'm guessing this is the foot on the chicken.
Even though McDonald's still owns most of the advertising for fast food, gourmet junk food is being styled in a different way, as there are now multiple television programmes about the best diners, drive-ins and dives to visit. Rather than the quick process of a McDonald's drive-thru, the upper-class fast food restaurants that would consider themselves as gourmet don't have such a quick service process, such as this ridiculously long waiting line just to eat the famous In-Out Burger gourmet fast food that is situated in California, where, ironically, the name of this establishment portrays a quick service where in reality, people will be happily wait in this everlasting queue to taste some of their food. In fact, even businessmen in suits are willing to queue up for 30 minutes and pay between £10 to £15 for a higher class burger or kebab. Even though this food is meant to be less processed than the most common fast food and considered lower class restaurants, The same rule still applies that eating too much of it isn't good for you, but the same excuses do not apply, as the majority of people would say that fast food is quick, cheap and convenient. However, when it comes to gourmet junk food, there is less of an excuse, as it is not quick, clearly shown by this queue, and it is also not cheap, therefore it is less convenient. Why are people really willing to pay and wait so much longer if it is just fast food? It could be because these diners have created an atmosphere that is much more like dining in a restaurant where you get given menus and the order is taken for you and you're waited on by a member of staff and treated as you were in fact eating a full-on sit-down wine and dine meal. Diners looking for a burger that is a cut above the preservative-laden stereotype have been making central London burger outlets meat liqueur, patty bun and honest burger so popular that it's not uncommon to see long queues outside at the weekends. Patty and Bun's founder says it seeks to attract people who wouldn't dream of going to McDonald's. So it becomes questionable that this food is actually so gourmet. Is it really moving away from the mass production of foods that occur in factories that churn out undifferentiated, generic, formulaic and simplistic products? Or has this processed junk just been masked by the upper class mode of address sent out in these gourmet foods? Is it possible that we have just created a fetishism and these gourmet products have required value that is completely unrelated to the actual value of the food, therefore becoming an exclusive commodity with a higher price but no more use or value than something from McDonald's? Such as Sean Jones, who was 13 and was tragically shot for his feeder trainers in Detroit in 1983. It has been known that people recognise themselves in commodities, find their soul in automobile, hi-fi, mobile phones, much like in Fight Club.
Catalogs and wonder, what kind of dining set defines me as a person?
Does this apply to fast food defining ourselves and our higher class through gorging on gourmet junk food? The Frankfurt School say that popular culture is neither difficult nor demanding and offers simple and direct pleasures contributing to its complexity and capitalist ideology. Could this be the same for gourmet junk food? Meaning we are buying crap because we feel like crap. According to Adome, we crave standardised cultural products and validate lives that themselves are standardised. Our work has also become alienated by dull, repetitive, undemanding tasks that we seek to be relieved by the purchase and use of cultural products. So is this gourmet food just a relief from the alienation the work has created but designed for the middle class? Meaning that we are all secretly loving it?